Okay, I think we're almost live. Welcome everyone to the Engineering Sync. Today is November 9th. We will go through our standard routine of every team presenting their updates. And we shall start with Bowen. Bowen, are you here?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So last week we kept investigating. We kept investigating the performance bottleneck for the sharded system. Michael found a bug in his script that he used to collect data, and that's why it was seeing some very nonsensical results, like validator got kicked out because it didn't get a seat. So now we realize that with 100 validator, we're still having some troubles keeping the validator not sustain them, the 100 validators. We're trying to do more investigation and see what's happening. I think we tried to modify the configs, but that doesn't help very much. So I think we're now trying to increase the epoch length because before epoch length was so small that even if they miss one block, they will get kicked out. So we're trying to see if that helps. With the memory investigation, I think Piotr made some more progress. We now find two places in Wasmer where it's like leaking memory. One place where it's kind of related to a cache that we're using, so which is actually already disabled in master, or rather removed in master after Nikolai's change to compile a contract in the on disk cache. So we're now trying to see if changing that cache size to 1 would help with mitigating at least that part. But there are some other parts in Wasmer that's also leaking. So we're trying to figure that out. I think we tried also to reproduce it locally with in a kind of standalone example, but that unfortunately failed. I think it could be related to that we're trying to use the standalone runner, which isn't actually completely mirroring what's actually used in when we actually run the node. I think we use the MOX external in the VM in the standalone runner, and also I think there's a fake a VM context, and that could have impact on how it's on the memory leak. So we're still trying to figure that out. And Michel is looking at some failures we have in nitrate test, specifically stress.py, try to figure out what's happening there. And yeah, I'm still trying to finish up the change with nitrate protocol features. It's almost done with mostly fixing test and CI last week, and hopefully we'll get to ready to run BetaNet with nitrate protocol features this week. And I think on the syncing side, Alex also made more progress with Writer Sync. I think there are some issues with how it interacts with Bridge, but I think that's mostly resolved. If I think Alex can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, I think there the biggest problem is that we want to make a quite drastic change to the light client interface, and I'm figuring out how to do it in a way that doesn't break backward compatibility, but also so effectively we need to make interface to work for the current bridge and for the bridge as it is supposed to be, which I think I know at this point how to do. So this will be resolved very soon.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's my update for the chain team. But let me also give update for the SRE team so that I don't have to be called on later. Yeah. So on the SRE team side, last week we're working on several things. One is still trying to test the Terraform config on CrashNet to see whether we can have the config ready for the RPC nodes. And on the release side, we're trying to prepare the change to the BetaNet release, to have to both prepare the new Genesis and also to make sure the pipeline is changed to reflect the latest change with the nightly features. And also Mario is doing some investigation with RPC node. I think we did some brief benchmark. There's no like obvious problems. We just like benchmark some endpoint that doesn't require a lot computation or any like anything heavy behind the scenes. So for example, we kind of try to run a lot of queries on the gas price endpoint and also the status endpoint, and that all seemed to be fine. So we're going to do more investigation on to trying to figure out what if there's some specific query that can cause problems in the RPC node. And also we're trying to set up some Canary nodes to get some more data on testnet and also on mainnet. Okay, so yeah, that's all the update from me.
So, question regarding the bug in the Michael script: does it also invalidate the results we had for 50 validators up to 8 shards?
No, it's a bug in when validators get kicked out, they collect data, and then Michael had a condition. The condition for which he tests for the validator kick out is kind of wrong. So he kind of get data later. So basically, he didn't get the first kick out data, and he got data later, which says validator didn't get a seed. But that's because some validator already get kicked out, and then the threshold changed. So that's why some validator didn't get the seed. But that doesn't affect the case when the validators were running fine.
I see. And so with 50 validators, there was no kickouts.
We can adjust with 50 validators and with some adjusted config. Yes.
Cool. Sounds great. Okay, Eugene, are you here to give an update on the transaction runtime, if there is any?
Yes, there is small update on transaction runtime. Still working on the fees. We were blocked. I'm blocked on param estimator. It started to fail for unknown reason or hang with the large try. So I think Bo will take a look at this once he have time. But yeah, so it's currently blocked the release of the fee or like progress on this PR. So we cannot generate the new config with the cache enabled.
Cool.
I can also give an update on EVM. So on EVM, we're making good progress. Some stuff is blocked on me to do the upgradability, internal upgradability of EVM. At the same time, we're preparing to merge this PR into master. For this, we need a few changes like passing tests. We need to put it behind the nightly and make sure that the merge is clean. It doesn't pollute any part of the protocol if the nightly feature is off. So for this, you'll need to be extra careful and also run a few tests as a RPC node, for example, on testnet, and validating that on a BetaNet before we merging it into master. And there's some good progress on the rest of the features, such as meta transaction. We merged previous. So Open Ethereum has a different repo, and we merged the PR that contains Istanbul fork from the legacy repo. And it's now looking into whether the new repo that they use, a new version, is compatible with the old version. It seems like there's a bunch of conflicts. At the same time, overall there's good progress on EVM, and I think both finalized meta transaction. At least he got it to work, and Mike had also good stuff. So overall, pretty much blocked on me on finalizing the upgradability and getting ready to merge it into BetaNet.
Cool. Exciting. Nikolai, do you want to give an update on the contract runtime?
Oh, sure. Just not that much. As Eugen and Bo mentioned, we indeed have investigation on the memory leak. It's very likely that one of those memory leaks actually not exists anymore because of what has changed. We removed the memory cache and replaced it with the database-based cache. And another one indeed looks like, from the very cursory glimpse I gave it, looks feasible, so we'll likely to fix it. Although at least at the moment it doesn't seem to be too big, but we'll see. The problem with this particular memory leaks, as other guys mentioned, was exactly that we don't have a good reproducer. So instead of like testing that we actually fixed something, we mostly could guesswork and like deploy it on a cloud instance and see how they behave. Which kind of slowed down the process. And regarding param estimator hang, it's actually interesting. And Eugen, can you have an estimation on how many contracts you have when it actually hangs for you?
So it hangs on the storage, right? So it might be related to RocksDB somehow. But it also like maybe a memory limit that it hits. So the core dump was like 12 gigs. So it's unclear where it started and like why it started. With a smaller size of the try, it basically just crashes on unwrapped key that it cannot find. So I asked Bo to look into this. So it's unclear, like it's possible that something was introduced outside of your change, or that during the merging there was some like unexpected conflict.
Yeah,
So that's why it needs investigation more than just. So it might be not. Okay.
Also have a major and I think not resolved issue with which also Eugen has discovered. It's about view-only contracts, which by the definition have received read-only state, and for them the execution of contracts is way more expensive if cache doesn't have contract instance for some reason. And I think for solving that, we probably need to allow writing data to the cache, even for contracts which otherwise immutable, because we shouldn't consider the cache to be the blockchain state, and just consider it to be like some local state, which doesn't represent the operational state. Other than that, I don't think I have too much to share.
Cool. Any questions? Okay, is Frol here?
Yes, I'm here.
Cool. Let's do an update on node interfaces and the Explorer.
Yeah, one sec. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Great. So we have node interfaces, and there is not much in terms of like what the capacity we can have to work on the node interfaces as it is as a separate project. We only support other projects. One of the project is Explorer, so we build Explorer indexer. So we essentially last week we defined our OKRs. What is the key directions we want to move, and node interfaces essentially enables all the other teams and partners. So all the OKRs are quite slim for node interfaces team because there are only two of us, me and Bogdan, working here, and Bogdan is currently focused on Explore and Indexer stuff. So you can find these OKRs here, and overall the progress last week was mostly on the Indexer side. We managed to run our Explore Indexer with like all the features enabled without any issues, syncing from Genesis for testnet and mainnet, which is great. And we finally have all the data sitting in Postgres. We still want to bike shade a little bit the naming of some columns, but overall it's just renaming just to make it more easier to users to explore the data. We also will add more indexes on the columns because I figured out that we missed quite a lot of them. We hadn't had any capacity to work on Rosetta last week, but now this week I want to focus on it because they're pressing and blocking our partners. We also had some discussions around events and with the way we implement them through logs or not, or like Evgeny can update on that if needed. And there is an app that is discussing the events in details, but we were mostly focused on the indexer support for events. I haven't had any concrete plan there yet, so feel free to jump into discussions. For the Explorer side of things, we also defined our OKRs. We were more open to the community and even managed to collect some inputs from inside and from outside. I mean, from near internal work groups as well as community. And we defined the following goals based on the focus, who we want to empower. The main focuses are contract developers. We also focus on general onboarding people to educate them, to help them to navigate our tech overall. And validators are also receiving our focus, though we have a lot of tooling for them outside of Explore. That's why we kind of decided to keep more focus on the most crucial parts for contract developers, representing all the information about the data flying around. So this is our OKR. Feel free to jump into the discussion as well. Some of the items were just converted into issues because they're not even like they are specific bugs or UX improvements. They are like at high level. And you can also find in the discussions they update. As of today, we haven't finished the summary yet, but overall, the directions we are heading with Explore is to migrate the current backend to the Indexer one, which will enable us to have more data at our disposal to display and to build new features into Explore frontend in the near future. That's all from me.
Cool. Any questions? Awesome. Okay, Kendall.
Hey everyone. So on the wallet side, this past week, let me just post the release notes for anyone who's interested. So it ended up being mostly like a bug and UI fix. There was one feature, which is allowing users to delete their lockup contract when they've reached a balance of 0, so they can get back their roughly 35 near storage state stake. We also pushed a pretty important fix for the staking balance that was being computed a little bit incorrectly if you had both a lockup contract and a non-lockup account that you were staking from. We decided to push 2 features to this release just to allow, or actually 3 to allow for further testing. These are pretty important. So that is going to be disabling 2FA. That's going to be an available balance update, just kind of making things a little bit more clear about like what your available balance is, because we had a bit of a calculation change that we made previously. And then that's going to be adding and removing Ledger if Ledger is your only recovery option. So that's gonna be the focus for this week. So pretty short update for us this week. Any questions?
Cool, I guess no questions. So last but not least, Alex, can you give an update on the bridge?
Hello, everybody. Hello from my cats also to all of you. So the short update on the bridge team and on the bridge project as a whole. So we are working quite a lot towards the private beta release at this moment. So the good news is that after the major refactoring that I was telling you about last week, the bridge was restored to the normal condition. So it is now is able to compile. Everything is okay with it. Though there are some tests that are still not working, so guys are working on this. We're also actually working with the NIDAC in basic integration, Alex Kuprin with Marcelo. The major thing that we still need to close before being able to do the beta release is some work with the config, and Vlad is doing that. Also, there is a major thing that needs to be discussed, and I would probably ask some of you to join the call. So I'm going to send you invites today. And this is going to be the call about the upgradability of the smart contracts on the Near side and on Ethereum side, and the way how it is combined with some of the things of the Near protocol. So like 2 topics: upgradability and some of the security issues. Well, not issues, but presumably not issues, but some things that needs to be discussed. So big thanks to Bowen, who was looking into some of the thoughts about the security by Evgeny Kapun in the document. Yeah, I would like to continue the discussion, making sure that within the private beta release of Bridge, there is no at least known security issues for us. Also, Chad is working on the front end for the bridge. So presumably somewhere in the end of November, somewhere there, we are going to put front end live for the ordinary users, not for our partners, who would be able to use the beta version of the bridge in order to bridge tokens. And a big thanks to Corwin, who joined us from the wallet team and is now helping with the interface for this front end. Besides that, last week it was a Near Without the Noise community call. I was there, and Bridge also was mentioned there. So quite a lot of stuff were covered there about the roadmap and the scope of the project. And besides that, no major update. So working towards the single goal of releasing the private beta.net. And some of you, I've seen that you were really interested in order to communicate this information to the community. So please feel free to pin me on this. I believe this week we already are going to start to collect we will put the form for the applications to the private betanet release live, and we would start to collect the projects that would like to take a part in this test. So yep, you would be able to use this as some additional marketing. That's it from my side. Any questions on this?
Cool, no questions. So I believe this is all the teams. If we missed someone, please let me know. Otherwise, are there any other topics people want to discuss? Going once, going twice. I guess that's it. Cool, thanks everyone.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye, guys.